Are you there, Al? Is your sound coming through?
Hi, yeah. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here. Lovely to listen to Jane. Everyone was saying beautiful voice, lovely songs. Well, I'm going to change all that now. Let's start with this. Do you remember what it used to be like? You'd go out drinking with your drinking crew. Someone would say something all bullshit like. Someone else would say it isn't true. It really didn't matter who was wrong and who was right. That's the conversation piece that lasted all the night. But nowadays the gaff is quickly blown when some smart aleck pulls out his smartphone. Keep your browsers in your trousers, you don't really need to know every scrap of information everywhere you go. No one needs the facts and figures that you haven't learned by heart. Keep your browsers in your trousers, 'cause it's just your phone that's smart. You're watching telly and you see an actor. You're very sure you recognise his face. You agonise for hours 'cause you have to identify that program you can't place. You've got everybody joining in your little game. Then someone goes and spoils it, and it really is a shame. They press a couple of buttons and they're done. Why'd they have to ruin all the fun? Keep your browsers in your trousers, you don't really need to know every scrap of information everywhere you go. No one needs the facts and figures that they haven't learned by heart. Keep the browsers in your trousers, 'cause it's just your phone that's smart. Now I don't need the World Wide Web to scour. I've got a simple mantra, and it's this. You might think that information's power. I just think that ignorance is bliss. The signal that you're sending out because your signal's strong only goes to prove what I've been saying all along. So can we just agree to disagree and agree that when you're out with me, keep your browsers in your trousers, you don't really need to know every scrap of information everywhere you go. No one needs the facts and figures that you haven't learned by heart. Keep your browsers in your trousers, 'cause it's just your phone that's smart. Keep your browsers in your trousers, 'cause it's just your phone that's smart. Thank you. You won't hear that thing again today, you'll be pleased to know. Let's pick up a sensible instrument and have a go at something else. Okay, this is a sort of experience, I suppose. Ever since I started going out with Tina Taylor, something has been happening when I go round to hers. Tina leaves the room and I'm left with her mother, Edna. Tina wouldn't like it if she knew what then Edna leads the way by asking lots of leading questions, which in cricket parlance I fend off with a straight bat. There is not much subtlety in some of her suggestions, like, would you like a cup of tea? What do you make of that? Tina Taylor's mother isn't all that she appears, and she's quite attractive for a woman of her years. Does she lead me on by any chance, or lead me a merry dance? I can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. Can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. Just the other night, she said she'd make me a cheese sandwich. I just said, all right, I didn't know what else to do. When she cut the bread, she held the knife with a firm hand, which made me think next time that there might well be pickles too. Tina Taylor's mother isn't all that she appears, and she's quite attractive for a woman of her years. Does she lead me on by any chance, or lead me a merry dance? I can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. Can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. In my heart of hearts, you know my heart is really Tina's. But in my other parts, there is a part that Edna plays. She takes me to the bedroom and she takes me to the cleaners. Only in my mind that I still feel washed out for days. If you think I'm getting big ideas above my station, this tea-cosy relationship is one I shouldn't spoil. Could be just a filament of my imagination, but I think there's no steam unless the water's on the boil. And Tina Taylor's mother isn't all that she appears, really quite attractive for a woman of her years. Does she lead me on by any chance, or lead me a merry dance? Can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. Can't make Edna Taylor what she wants. Tina Taylor's mother. Some of you out there might know someone called Tina Taylor. There's a lady who sings on the folk circuit called Tina Taylor. Just want to clarify right now, it's nothing to do with her at all. Absolute coincidence. Okay. This is a song that speaks of an experience I've definitely had, and I think people tend to resonate with this as well. Not unfortunately something we can do right now, but let's see. When I'm in a restaurant, I've had my meal and all I want to follow it will be a lovely cup of tea. I call the waiter and I say, I'll have a tea if that's okay. He smiles and says, of course. I know that smile is false. They do a range of coffees and I've gone and asked for tea. It's a bad day at the office for the waiter and for me, 'cause it's billed as tea, but it's nothing of the kind. It's billed as tea, but it isn't to my mind. When I want a great big steaming mug of Rosie Lee, it's billed as tea, but it isn't billed as tea. They bring a silly bowl-shaped cup that they have filled 3/4 up with water that is not particularly hot. With a tea bag on the side, they haven't even tried to hide their obvious disdain for being such a pain. They haven't even made it, they've just brought it out in bits, as if I'd be persuaded that my tea should come in kits. It's billed as tea, but it isn't to my mind. It's billed as tea, but it's nothing of the kind. When I want a great big steaming mug of Rosie Lee, it's billed as tea, but it isn't billed as tea. So don't ask me why it's so naff compared to any local caff, and so I'd just as soon be in that greasy spoon, where they do old-fashioned nosh that couldn't be described as posh, and a lovely cup of char, a better one by far, than they bring you when you go in places where they do a much more fancy menu. But when they bring you a brew, it's billed as tea, but it isn't to my mind. It's billed as tea, but it's nothing of the kind. When you want a great big steaming mug of Rosie Lee, it's billed as tea, but it isn't billed as tea. It's billed as tea, but it isn't billed as tea. Okay, after that, what can I do but have a quick slurp? Builder's tea. Okay, try this one now. This is actually quite a new song. In fact, the newest song today. I'm a member of the Coventry Singer-Songwriters, which is a group that meets in Coventry. You might wonder what I'm doing in it because I'm based in Ilford, but that's another matter. And we write songs and we choose a subject. And the subject this month was cloud cover. So I thought I'd write a song on cloud cover. Perhaps not the one they expected, I don't know. You drive a hard bargain when you bargain. My hard drive holds the information I've kept well hidden. You started to log in, but as soon as you pressed start, found the link into my heart was forbidden. On the cloud, covering every eventuality, I keep my data safe until I need it later now. My sweet cyber attacker, you're such a hopeless hacker. You'll never be allowed to break into my cloud. You couldn't imagine that I'd let you in there surely, to the secrets held securely where I store them. You thought you could patch in through your own external server, like an authorized observer searching for them. On the cloud, covering every eventuality, I keep my data safe until I need it later now. My sweet cyber attacker, you're such a hopeless hacker. You'll never be allowed to break into my cloud. I guess you guessed my password, but I'll always have the last word. 'cause I've got complete protection for my internet connection. It's to your eternal shame. You know my mother's maiden name, but don't know me the way that you would clearly like to think you do. Some put their whole life online, but I'm completely clandestine. So I always set my setting so that you can never get in. And that's how my personal profile is kept private. And there's no file you can open or unhide, although you've tried and tried. Access denied. On the cloud, covering every eventuality, I keep my D2C until I need it later now. My sweet cyber attacker, you're such a hopeless hacker. You'll never be allowed to break into my hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Don't hang around 'cause two's a crowd. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Don't hang around. Nice little E6 on the end, why not? Cloud. Yeah. Here's one I've been doing for a while. I think the first line of this song is what hooks people in. Have a listen. You choose your friends, you don't choose your relations. And relatively speaking, that's a shame. 'Cause sometimes they can get in situations that cast a shadow on the family name. Auntie is unsteady on her pins, especially when she's had a couple of gins. And uncle likes a tipple, so both of them are people who sometimes have to suffer for their sins. Oh, my giddy aunt, she fell down the stairs, caught my drunken uncle completely unawares. He was coming up as she went tumbling down, and they landed in a heap they must have left upon the ground. They landed in a heap upon the ground. Now uncle's disposition is quite sunny, but this time they couldn't see the lighter side, till auntie pointed out it was quite funny. And that just got them laughing till they cried. Once they started up, they couldn't stop. He was underneath with her on top. And like in those Whitehall farces, they both held on to their glasses, but remarkably not spilt a single drop. Cheers, oh my giddy aunt, she fell down the stairs, caught my drunken uncle completely unawares. He was coming up as she went tumbling down, and they landed in a heap they must have left upon the ground. They landed in a heap upon the ground. Now when a neighbour heard all this kerfuffle, but couldn't get an answer to her knocks, she got the shock of her life for her trouble when she peered in through the letterbox. You can guess at what she thought she saw. Two bodies lying writhing on the floor. Now the neighbours nod and wink, and you can tell just what they think, and that just starts them laughing all the more. Oh my giddy aunt, she fell down the stairs, caught my drunken uncle, completely unawares. He was coming up as she went tumbling down, and they landed in a heap. They must have left upon the ground. They landed in a heap upon the ground. Oh my giddy aunt, she fell down the stairs, caught by drunken uncle, completely unawares. He was coming up as she went tumbling down, and they landed in a heap. They must have left upon the ground. They landed in a heap upon the ground. Oh my giddy aunt. There you go. And suddenly, as if by magic, we come to the last song. So I thought I'd do something topical, I suppose. You must call this topical. I actually have had my first injection for COVID, which is not to gloat for those who haven't, but, you know, it just happened to come my way, so I was glad to get it. I thought I'd just tell the story of that, really. It reminded me that when I was at school, we used to talk about having the lurgy. You got the lurgy, you got the lurgy. And if you wanted to avoid the lurgy, what did you do? You went, ejected, and you didn't get the lurgy. So this is my song about ejected. And this is my last song, so thanks very much, everybody. And I know it's been a great afternoon. I haven't managed to catch everything. I'm going to do it all on catch-up later. So that's my excuse. And here we go. The other day, I got a text from the doctors. Well, whatever next. What they said was such good news, an offer I could not refuse. They told me I could book my jab. It's been made now in the lab. AstraZeneca or Pfizer. Either way, I'm none the wiser. Ejected, ejected. I've been vaccinated. Ejected, ejected. I'm inoculated. After months of worrying that I might get infected. Goodbye, lurgy, you can't hurt me now, 'cause I've been ejected. I soon responded to the call and got booked in at the Orky Hall. I turned up and told them I'm here for my appointment time. The nurse seemed glad that I bowled up, and we both got our sleeves rolled up. I smiled at her behind my mask as she got settled to the task. Ejected, ejected, I've been vaccinated. Ejected, ejected, I'm inoculated. After months of worrying that I might get infected. Goodbye, lurgy, you can't hurt me now that I've been ejected. She said, I'll make this nice and quick. You might just feel a little prick. I said to me, that's nothing new. In fact, I very often do. And as I sat there cool and calm, she stabbed me swiftly in the arm and said, you'll be called up when you are due for injection number 2. Ejected, ejected, I've been vaccinated. Ejected, ejected, I'm inoculated. After months of worrying that I might get infected. Goodbye, lurgy, you can't hurt me now that I've been ejected. So once you get the time and date when your name is selected, just make sure that you're not late. Turn up as expected. And afterwards you'll feel just great. You'll see it was worth the wait. No more need to isolate now that you're protected. Ejected, ejected, I've been vaccinated. Ejected, ejected, I'm inoculated. After months of worrying that I might get infected. Goodbye, lurgy, you can't hurt me now that I've been ejected. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. That's me. Thanks for the afternoon.